Hi, and welcome to the James River Riparian Stewards training. My name is Jordan Bennett, and I am the Restoration Coordinator for the James River Association. Today, we will be learning about riparian forest buffers and their benefits, the James River Buffer Program, and how you can be involved in the Riparian Stewards program. But first, a little background on the James River Association. Our mission is to protect the James River and connect people to it. JRA monitors the river, responds to problems, seeks policy changes, and implements on-the-ground projects to restore the river's health. Our vision is a fully healthy James River, valued by all communities in the watershed. Here is a map of the James River watershed. It spans from the Allegheny and Blue Ridge Mountains all the way down to the Chesapeake Bay. And here is a map of the Middle James watershed, where our Riparian Stewards program operates. In the 1960s and 70s, the James River was one of the most polluted rivers in the country. Today, the James is one of the most improved rivers in the country. Every 2 years, JRA releases the State of the James report. The State of the James is a report card summarizing ongoing efforts to bring the James River back to full health. In 2023, the James scored a B, up 5 points from the B- in 2021. Here is a closer look at the 2023 State of the James score. You can visit stateofthejames.org for even more insight into this report. So, what is a riparian forest buffer? Riparian buffers are the trees, shrubs, and other vegetation along our waterways. They provide the James River and its tributaries with protection by doing the following: slowing water flow, controlling erosion, filtering runoff from upland use, providing canopy cover to shade and cool the stream, providing habitat for birds and small mammals, and being a great place for recreational activities. Here is a diagram that explains the benefits of riparian forest buffers. Now that you know what a riparian forest buffer is, let's learn about the James River Buffer Program, or JRBP for short. This program helps landowners in the upper and middle James watershed install riparian forest buffers on their properties. It is at no cost to the landowner. We plant only native trees and shrubs. JRA provides 3 years of establishment maintenance as well as 5, 10, and 15-year checks. It is funded by the Virginia Environmental Endowment and the Virginia Department of Forestry. The following video does a great job of explaining the program.
Starting in the foothills of the magical Blue Ridge Mountains at the confluence of the Jackson and Calpasture rivers, the James River begins its winding journey to the Chesapeake Bay. Over 340 miles, it weaves through forests, farmland, cities, towns, fed by an additional 15,000 miles of streams and creeks that make up its tributaries. The James serves more than 3 million people in its watershed, providing drinking water for humans, animals, cooling currents for river lovers and recreationists, and the beauty and solace of waterfront views for those who live and work near its banks.
While the James River has slowly improved since the passage of important legislation and dedicated restoration efforts, it still faces significant threats from polluted urban and agricultural runoff. Excess nutrient and sediment loading, as well as high levels of bacteria, jeopardize the health of the James and its inhabitants. Luckily, there's a solution. By building riparian buffers across the watershed, we can heal the James and foster the diverse network of life it supports.
A riparian forest buffer is an area adjacent to a stream, lake, or wetland that contains a combination of trees, shrubs, and/or other perennial plants and is managed differently from the surrounding landscape, primarily to provide conservation benefits.
So there are many functions of a riparian buffer that cross over and can benefit the landowner. Starting with the roots holding the stream bank and stabilizing it. The buffer also filters out the sediment and the nutrients getting into your waterways so it can clear up the water and the clarity of the water. From a wildlife perspective, the riparian buffer can benefit the waterways by shading it and cooling it for the aquatic life. Other wildlife benefits include the pollinator habitat, so if you have fruit or vegetable production farms, that'll help with that. Also, another future benefit of our riparian buffer project is creating those shaded trail systems right along the waterway where you can hike, picnic, or trail ride. Depending on the species planted, you could have harvestable products such as fruits, nuts, berries, or cut flower arrangements.
Through the James River Buffer Program, the James River Association, the Virginia Department of Forestry, and the Chesapeake Bay Foundation are working with folks throughout the upper and middle James watersheds to restore or create forest buffers that improve the quality of our local waterways. This program is open to anyone in the upper and middle James watershed that wants to improve water quality and habitat, has water on their property in need of a streamside forest, and that agrees to keep the area forested for 15 years.
We are connected to the James because we live in the James River watershed. Even someone with the smallest buffer creek contributes to the overall impact. By stepping up to restore your streamside forest, you become part of the James River watershed patchwork quilt that connects us all.
Thanks to funding by the Virginia Environmental Endowment, the James River Buffer Program covers 100% of the project costs, from site preparation, installation, and 3 years of establishment support. For more information and to apply, visit www.jamesriverbuffers.org and join us in planting trees for a healthy James River.
So, who and what are the Riparian Stewards? Riparian Stewards are volunteers who work with our staff to nurture and monitor riparian forest buffers installed through the James River Buffer Program. They assist our staff in providing necessary maintenance to help achieve a healthy buffer through planting, replanting, and other maintenance activities. Riparian forest buffer plantings take place either during the spring season, February through April, or the winter season, November through December. We plant bare root seedlings at 300 trees per acre. Shrubs go in 2-foot tubes, and trees go in 4-foot tubes. Tree tubes protect the young trees from competing vegetation and wildlife. To plant a riparian forest buffer, first, you will need to grab your tree. These are bare root seedlings and are very tiny when we get them. Next, dig a hole deep enough for your roots to fit in without them bending up on themselves. Place your seedling in the hole, then backfill the hole with your dirt. Place a tree tube over the center of your seedling. Remember, 2-foot tubes are for shrubs and 4-foot tubes are for trees. Give the tube a little shuffle to make sure it is secure in the dirt. Place your stake through the zip ties on the tube and hammer it into the ground. You should hammer the stake until it is an inch or two above the first zip tie. Place a bird net on top of the trees only, 4-foot tubes. These prevent birds from getting stuck in a tube. Some projects will be using coconut mats. These are designed to protect the seedling from competing vegetation. Wrap the mat around like a tree skirt and use 4 staples to hold the mat in place. The James River Buffer Program provides 3 years of establishment maintenance and replants. This is where our James River Riparian Stewards help out the most. Survival checks take place in the fall season. Check to make sure each tree is alive. Mark any dead trees with flagging tape and keep a tally of how many you find. Vegetation removal also happens in the fall. Vegetation in and around the tree tube will compete with our growing tree for light and nutrients. Remove these from the root by lifting the tube slightly. You can use pruners or loppers if there are thorns. Bird nets protect birds from getting stuck in tree tubes, but are not needed once the tree is about a foot from the top of the tube. They will need to be removed so the growing tree will not get tangled. Sometimes bird nets fall off and will need to be replaced if the tree is still low in the tube. Remember, only 4-foot tubes get bird nets. Stakes, tubes, and zip ties may get lopsided or broken. Replace and straighten as needed. The dead trees we flagged in the fall will get replanted in the spring. Make sure to remove the flagging tape once each tree has been replanted.
The most important part of the success of any riparian buffer is going to be proper maintenance. The face.
Riparian stewards help out in the Middle James watershed. The Middle James is split into 4 sub-watersheds: the Rivanna, the Appomattox, Eastern James, and Western James. But you can participate in as many sub-watersheds as you'd like. Listed are some of the rivers, streams, and lakes within each sub-watershed. As a riparian steward, you should place safety at the top of your priorities. Working out in the field carries inherent risks and requires vigilance, training, and common sense. You must take the responsibility to stay as safe as possible at all times. This includes having the proper equipment, taking account of weather conditions, and knowing when to go out and when to stay home. It is important to stay safe while working out on buffers. While each site is a little different, here are some things to watch out for: ticks, bees and wasps, and poison ivy. Make sure to be cautious of electric fences. It is safest to assume that they are always on. Livestock should not be present within the buffer, but you may encounter them on your way into the buffer. Generally, they will leave you alone, but keep an eye out for bolds or any other aggressive animals and proceed with caution. Make sure to close any gate that you open. To become a riparian steward, the first step is to watch this video. Then, take the quiz following. You must participate in a training day that occurs in the fall and attend at least 2 steward events a year to continue in the program. Thank you for your interest in becoming a riparian steward, and I hope to see you out in the field soon.